Okay, um, let us look at just creating a couple more dashboards, or at least one more dashboard in this workbook, and then we'll see how we can have those interactions and interactivity and navigation between one dashboard to the other on the server. Okay, and just another thing that I would like to mention here is so we have the sheets that we have created, and while publishing, you saw that we would only publish this dashboards. We would not want to expose the individual sheets to the user. So what we can do is, if you can also go and right click and hide the sheets. So now if you see, I do not have anything else other than this dashboard in my workbook. But whereas actually it exists, but it doesn't show, because we've hidden the sheets. So that's how we can actually go and hide the sheets and keep. This also helps in keeping the workbook cleaner, so that you just have those dashboards that you want to be shown in this worksheet, and our workbook and all the other sheets are being hidden. Okay, let's just go and create some. So now we're back to the data source connection window here. So what we can do is, and I just want to demonstrate how we can have multiple data sources in a single dashboard or a workbook. So let me go and connect to another data source here, which I'll go and connect to the sample coffee chain, which is Access database. Okay, so now I have both the data sources coming up over here. Okay, and so let me just do a couple different things here. Let me Let's draw a trend line here of sales. Right, and also I would like to see our profits. So now you see, I have my sales and the profit. Okay, and sales. This is my sales, and this is my profit. Profit in blue. Okay, so now this one actually gives us an idea of how my sales has been faring throughout these months, and then how my profit has been, corresponding profit has been, right? So this is just a simple line chart that we have. So what we can do here is, we can just create another filter. So we can filter it by the date. So let me just give relative date. Okay, so what this means is, it will allow me, the user, um, the ability to actually filter the data based on these different date ranges, right? So let me give this as months and last 3 months. Okay, so there's nothing, because from today, the last 3 months, we don't have any data in this. And how do I expose this filter? I just say show filter here. Okay, that there we go. So I don't want here, so I'll go and say last 3 years. Okay, so I have last 3 years information, and probably this year I would probably not have anything. So I can say last uh, 2 years, and you would see a flatter line because there's only for 1 year. I have the data only for 1 year. Okay, let me keep it at last 2 years. Right. So this is again um, sales trend coffee. Okay. I'll just create a map. Sales, so that you can see where exactly is my uh, real sales happening. Where is it that my coffee is selling the most? Okay, and where is it that I'm making the profits most by putting the profit into the color, right? Now let me just change the map option to normal. It's a very good, better and size. Let me just increase the transparency, add a border to it. Okay, sales by state. Let me build another dashboard here by including these two. Okay, so I had created this filter for this the top sheet over here, but I can actually even make this apply on the other sheet that I have. So I can say using this data source. That means all sheets using this data source. So now this filter has been applied on this one as well. So let's get rid of this right here. Just add a here. Reduce the size a little bit. Put a title of the sales. Format it. Just to give a little bit of shading and a border. Okay, so now you see that if I change this data here, if I change the filter here to last 3 years, there's a slight change. You're not really seeing it here, but you would see it here over here because the data is almost identical. So you would see the change over here. And now it's 469 for the last 2 years. And if I do it for the last 3 years, you see it's 77.99 to $31,000. Okay, so this is another kind of interaction, which is the quick filters that we have. The date filter that we have put over here is, let me go and hide these things. I can simply create a sheet over here, and there's something called a calculated field that we can create. So I'm going to create a navigation calculated field. Click to navigate. Okay, or click for coffee sales. Just going to use this calculated field in my sheet. Quickly do this. Okay, so I'm just going to include this. So I'm going to call this navigate. I'm going to put this guy over here, right? So I'm going to say hide time. I'm going to say wait. Okay, so now you have this guy, which is I'm going to make this work as a link, right? To have a navigation into my coffee sales. Let me hide this sheet here now. So again, as I told earlier, we have this actions. So I'm going to create another action. So one I had created earlier by clicking the use as filter on this sheet. The other one I'm going to create it like this. Put the analysis dashboard. Go to dashboard and then click on the action and add the action. Add a filter action. And on clicking this navigate button, take me to the coffee sales dashboard, right? Yep. On select. Okay, so now you see Just click on it. It's going to take me to the. So we've built enough navigations right now. So let's now go ahead and publish this to the server again. So I'm going to change this to sales. And now you see, you do not see now you do not see the sheets over here. You only see the dashboards that we have. The reason being, I've hidden those sheets, right? And you see something over here which says show sheets as tabs. So I'll show you exactly what it means. Publish, you override, okay, because there is already a workbook named department item sales. Yes, please override it. It's publishing. So even if you are working as admins, we will always need to know certain basics and concepts of this development environment and the architecture kind of a thing. So we need to understand what are the data sources they've used and what type of filters they have used in their reports. All these things would help us to understand and make sure that the dashboards perform pretty well. Okay, so you saw now we got an error. The error said it is not able to connect to the coffee chain database. Because that's because we do not have the database set up over there. So what we need to do right now is actually create an extract again, and then use that extract to publish the workbook. So the moment we create an extract, all the data is also packaged along with the workbook. So that way it is easy uh, to be easy for publishing, and then we can actually have the schedule pick up the extract and then refresh it later on a timely manner. So let us now go ahead and publish this again. Yes, there you go. It has quickly published it for us. I'm going to close this again and then go to the server. Let me log in here as an admin. What I would also like to do is now create another user, just like how we created yesterday in our previous session. Okay, so we have it here. Let's go in. There we go. So we have our the sales dashboard, the one that we initially created, which is the department and the item sales. So we have this interaction over here, which is a filter. So it filters um, the item level bar chart based on what I click on the department level bar chart, right? So this is one, and then you see here now that we have got the tabs. So those two dashboards are being shown as two tabs over here. Okay, so this is a way of showing or informing or letting people know that okay, this dashboard here is not the only dashboard in this workbook. You have multiple dashboards. So you might want to see this, or you might want to see another one, which is over here. By clicking either over here, or I have given you another action that you can perform by clicking on this link here. So I've just clicked on the link. Now it's taking me to the coffee sales dashboard, right? Great. So now again we see the coffee sales trend, coffee profit trend, and then we see coffee sales by state. Okay, so we can instantly make out that there's a lot of coffee drinking people in California and the Northeast. So let's now use the filter. This is another type of interaction. So this is a quick filter. Remember, it's a quick filter. So quick filters, sometimes if you have a lot of information, it would make the dashboards a little bit slow, because what quick filters do is that they go back to the data source, bring the records, bring the distinct values in for your dimension, members for your dimension, and then show them as the values in the filter. So since here we are using a date filter and it's bringing up kind of a calendar type of a feature, which allows you to use a relative range. Excuse me. Okay, so let's do that. Let's change the value from here. Yep. So now you see it has changed, and so these are the different interactions that you can. Okay, now let's do something. Let's just create a new user. I'll go to the admin page because I've logged in as an admin user. Okay, in fact, we already have one that we had created in our earlier class. So I'm going to use this user and log in, and let's see what happens. Okay, so this user also has access to the coffee sales dashboard. So consider that now I have logged in as the sales manager south, and I do not know really which one of this is my which one of this is actually the one that I should be looking at. Because probably I do not know what's the name of the report. The developer has not informed me what's the name of the report. So how do I look for it? So what I can do is, now I know I can actually search for the content over here, or I can look for which project that I'm trying to see. So these are all the features, filter features, which Tableau server gives us. So even if I really do not know what's the name of the dashboard I'm looking at, but I probably know where it belongs. It belongs to the sales project. Okay, now let me click on this one. Okay, so here it is. So these are the dashboards that I'm supposed to be looking at. Because I'm a sales guy, and all, and I'm sure the projects, the dashboards that are available in the sales project are for me. So I can use this, or probably I just know who's the publisher. In this case, I know the publisher is the administrator, so I can just click on this administrator, and then I'll get these dashboards that were published by the administrator. So I can use that. And similarly, there are lots of different features that Tableau provides. So you can also see when was it modified. So modified, I can say just today or yesterday, or any of this information. So this is a way I can actually filter information, even if I'm really not sure of what the report is. Now, generally, what we can do is we can, when we sharing the when once we have our dashboard published, what we can do is provide the link directly to the dashboard to the business users, so that they really don't have to look for different things and come here. But sometimes what happens is the user himself might have around 20 dashboards that he regularly looks at. So he cannot always log into a particular dashboard and come back and then look for the make something has this page and a landing page kind of a thing. So let's go back here. Let's go back to the workbook, in fact. Okay, and I will go and make this as my start page so that I am not lost every time I log in. So let me log out now. Then let me log in again. So I'm going to log in as Sales Manager South and sign in. So earlier you saw that I was getting all the dashboards over here, all the images from the tiles of all the dashboards. And now when I log in, I just get the ones that I am really worried about. So this is a feature which allows um, make this my start page is a feature which allows the user to actually set one of this as his home page so that he doesn't really have to the user doesn't really have to look for which project should he be going into every time or just spend time navigating instead of directly hitting the report that he wants to look at, right? So let's just quickly log out and then sign in as the administrator. Okay, so now you see the admin is able to view all the reports because the admin we have not set any start page. So I can make this my as my start page, or I can go to a particular workbook, a particular project, and make that as my start page. And since I am admin, I also have the ability to make a particular place or a particular page as a start page for all the users, right? Okay. So we saw how to filter, and now we saw how to set the user preference. And also, let me just show you another feature over here, which tells. Uh, so now probably I have a lot of dashboards. So I'm trying to show as many as possible in a single page over here. So I might not want to see 12, because I probably want to. My idea might be to look at the dashboards only on the first two rows. So I don't want the third row to be showing because I don't want to scroll down. So I can probably just limit it to 9 or 6 dashboards or whatever. Now there are, so I can just say, so there you go. I just see 6 dashboards right now. So I have all the things in the first two rows, and I don't really have to scroll down to see what other reports are there. So if I want, I can then just navigate to the next page, and then I'll see the remaining 6 of them, right? So this is another feature which Tableau provides, and this is all flexible. It just depends on the user who's logged in. He can set up his view as he wants. So it's pretty neat. So again, you can sort, use all the different features of you sorting it by project, and then a lot of different things. So let me go back to the well. Okay. Okay, so you can sort it by name or by modified of a publisher. Okay. So this is what we saw right now. The Tableau allows us, the feature allows us to really set how many thumbnails do you want to see in the page, and then navigate to the next page. If you want to increase or decrease, it allows you to do that. And then we saw how we can see the sheets as tabs. So all the dashboards in this over here on the server, when we say sheets, it's actually the tab dashboards that we have in the Tableau workbook. So those dashboards come up as sheets over here, and then you can actually navigate between the sheets by clicking on the tab on the top, or you can. We saw how we can create a navigation button and then use that to navigate from one to the other dashboard. And we also saw how we can make a particular thing as my start page, and we saw what we can do the sorting, and also we have permissions to delete and um, delete or set permissions. So we look at this set permissions later. We looked at how deletion can be done and how we can delete a project or delete some views, delete dashboards and workbooks. So, and we also saw how we can filter the content, search for the content. So I might be logging in after a long time, probably. There's been a lot of gap between today and the last time I logged in. So in between, there might have been around 5 to 6 dashboards that have been published, which I will have to look at today. So I can just go and say, okay, whatever was modified for the last week, give me that. So it just gives all those things, and then I can go and review those. Okay, so probably we can look at just another option. Let's go back to our okay, so now we're going to talk about this edit and remember changes a little bit later. But now let's just look at this share. So, okay, now I have published this dashboard. Now what do I do? How do I share it with my user? So if you remember, just a few minutes back, I said we can actually give them the URL for this particular dashboard. So how do we do that? So if I want to share that, that could be done when he's looking for this dashboard and when business users ask me to publish this and let the user know that okay, that's available. So what I can do is just publish this, just go here and say and copy this and then send it across to him in an email. So what this has over here is nothing but the link, the URL directly to this particular dashboard. Okay, and also Tableau provides you um, you can have it. I mean, you can have your dashboard actually embedded into a site. So for that, it gives you a JavaScript which you can actually paste it into your HTML code and then have this one embedded into your website. So this is basically the script that you will have to copy and then put it into your HTML code, right? And then if you want to set the display options, you can say how long, how wide and how tall your view has to be, when you're sharing it. So that's the sharing option that we have.